Hi Leo, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is going to be a timeless message for you guys. Hopefully the fan isn't too loud, but it's hot, okay? And I want direct air. Anyway, the channel message that I heard for you, Leo, was the Klan, right? So then Spirit broke that down into gangs, friends, and ops. All right. I feel like I said this before, but anyway, I get my channel messages by like Scrabble pieces. So Clan was out and then GFO. So I was like, what is GFO? And I was like, okay, gangs, friends, and ops, right? But with that, Spirit is saying there's something about social dynamics. Where do you fit, Leo? Where in the dynamic do you fit? Do you belong to a gang, which is a group of people with a unified purpose, you know? But usually they do have that violent, what's the word? I want to say coding over them. Do you want to be, are you the friendly person who just wants to be friends with everybody? Or are you, you know, opposing another? But either way, Leo, I just feel like there's something about social dynamics. Okay? You don't want to be caught in the wrong social, caught up, I should say, caught up in the wrong social dynamic. All right? So, mostly hearing the Klan is like, it's not necessarily innately negative, it's just a group of people. So for example, a peer group. Let's say you're in school, okay, your other classmates would be your peers. If you're thinking about your business, your coworkers would be your peers. I just feel like within a certain peer group, there's like breakdowns. Okay? So which one do you fall in, Leo? We got the Eight of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Cups. So, the Eight of Swords speaks about mental entrapment, being stuck or feeling stuck, but there's always a way out. Now, this Four of Cups is speaking of dissatisfaction, possibly. So, again, like a gang, well, sometimes like a gang, there's ways out, right? Can be quite dangerous or risky. Friends, you can separate a friendship. It's gonna hurt, you know, it's not gonna feel the best. With ops, you know, you can, some people take it too far, right? Some people go off to I don't really like this word, but YouTube, unalive. Some people take it too far to unalive their ops or do things that are extremely harmful to their ops. So it's like every dynamic has a, if you want to say, pros and cons, but there's also there's levels to the dynamics, right? Like with gangs, like I said, there's like a, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but I cannot find it. But there's like a subculture or a tinge, uh, what is the word that I am looking for? I guess prejudice. there's a prejudice that when you hear gang, the word gang, you immediately think about violence, right? But I'm gonna say, for the purpose of this reading, a gang would be a heightened group, heightened, high energy. Again, going towards a certain purpose. Fighting a central cause. It doesn't have to be family or friends necessarily. Friends, like I said, is more lighthearted. That's Spirit is essentially asking you, what social dynamics do you seek right now? Or even, what social dynamics do you have right now? Do you feel like you have friends? Do you feel like you're around a gang or a clique? Or do you feel like you don't really got nobody right now, you're just beefing with the whole world, right? The Opps. But Spirit is trying to ask you, what type of dynamic do you want to keep? What kind of social dynamic do you want to embrace? Not just what you're in right now or have been in. Yeah, there's something about embracing the right type of people, the right crowd. Sorry, it's so shaky. I keep shaking the table. We have the Nine of Swords in reverse. So we have the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords in reverse. You have, if you feel like you've been around the wrong people, you have to analyze, how did you get here? What is your entanglement to these people? Okay, because again, this is a card of dissatisfaction. But it can be flipped around. Four of Cups. It can be changed, released, or whatever, transmuted. I'm hearing pretentious. So even, it doesn't have to be this breakdown that I gave you, but like, let's say you find yourself around a bunch of pretentious people, arrogant people, uppity, always look down on people. What, sounds harsh, but what about you is attracting that dynamic? Do you give servant energy? Do you give doormat energy or too nice energy? Not saying you gotta turn into them, but I just feel like you always find yourself around a certain type of people. That was just an example, right? You always find yourself around a certain type of person or group, and I don't think you're satisfied with that though. I don't think you like that anymore. But it can be changed. King of Swords in reverse, King of Pentacles upright. Yeah, it can be changed, drastically. Depending on what you prioritize, right? Depending on what you prioritize, is how you need to embody this energy. So, for example, if you want to be around people who are kind, loving, and respect boundaries, be that, embody that. Make sure that you enforce your boundaries. It's not just about being nice. You have to enforce boundaries, enforce whatever it is that you're trying to receive back from the universe. Okay? So it's like the equal give and take. So you release a mindset, a energetic wave, or whatever to receive this King of Pentacles, a tangible maybe. Whatever result it is. It's like a give and take. embody who you want to be around. And not morph into other people, or what they call that? Imposter syndrome. we don't want the imposter syndrome for you to morph into other people, right? Just more so embody or embrace different qualities in yourself. All right, so let's pull from here, Leo. Got the Five of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Magician. So you have the power to embody. That's what the Magician does. The Magician has all of the tools, all of the elements working, not necessarily for him, but he knows how to manipulate all of the energies. For example, the elements. The Magician can manipulate that water. It wants to be water, so it can manipulate that water or embody the qualities of water to be one with the water. Same thing. I want to be one with the air. Okay, so how can I be as light as a feather, right? You want to be around people who have passion, drive, energy, support. How can you invoke that in yourself? How can you embody fire? You get it? Yeah, you get it. So the Magician. Leo, when it comes to the social dynamics, right? Again, it's not like imposter syndrome. It's more of embodiment with this Magician. You don't want to embody a certain dynamic anymore? Well, release it. King of Swords in reverse. Release. I don't know what else to say besides embody. Okay. So we're going to pull an oracle and close this out for you, Leo. The Clan. Gangs, friends, and Opps. Be careful of what social dynamic you attract, how you can attract it, or what you're already in. Pleasure and fearless love. Okay. Tanit and Oshun. So pleasure and fearless love. That's the one thing with the Magician too. In order to get the pleasurable results or the favorable results to that he wants, he has to trust himself completely. So when you fearlessly love yourself, that is fearlessly trusting and knowing that you have the capabilities to morph. It might take some time, it might take a few tries, but you have the ability to do that. Fearlessly knowing. That's what it is. Sometimes it ain't even like, oh my God, this action, this thing is going to be so difficult. It's really the mind. So, with that being said, I'm here to manipulate your mind and manipulate the world. But that's a Magician, right? But don't take that in the wrong way. But yeah. Be careful of certain social dynamics that you engage in, Leo. I'm going to leave that there. I don't want to make this too long. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, comment if you feel like it. Bye.